Hey, welcome back to another Backyard Professor Chess video. I've been out plowing snow. It's winter. December 29th. Yeah, true story. In December it snows, you know. For the most part, although we're having a pretty mild winter here. I'm going to play a game that I played a friend of mine years ago online. He went by the name of Pawnaconda. He's world famous gamer now, that's his handle. We played this on chess.com and he beat me, and he beat me good. So, and I promised him 4.5, 5 years ago. I've been way too negligent to do a video of the game, so here you go, Pawnaconda. Here's your game. I played the black and he played the white. Now, the problem is, back then he was rated, online 1356, I believe it was, and I was rated 1214 or something, and I've advanced way beyond that up to 800 now, so there's no way in hell he could beat me anymore. It's been a long time since I played chess, but I was trying to give him my best shot back then, and he opened with the queen pawn, of course, which is a very good opening, and he did this opening really well. And I did my opening okay too at the time. He's got the 3 pawns coming right up at me. Really good opening. I fianchettoed my bishop thinking I was going to get a good long diagonal, and actually I did. I just didn't know what the heck to do with it back then. So that's the way it goes. I castled fairly early. Let's see. Got my castling in, and then he brought his bishop up to e2, and I brought out my other knight, and then he castled fairly early. So it was a good castling game early on. And then I threw my e5 up there to try to challenge the center, and he took the pawn. D takes e5 and D takes e5. And let's see, he came over here to queen a4. He's doing a pretty good, fast, powerful development here. And I brought my bishop up, and he came to b4, so he's expanding. You can see at this point in time his space, the imbalance of space on his queen side is better than mine, right? So he got his queen side going faster than I did. And I came up here to knight d4, putting my knight on the outpost. And he proceeded to push his b pawn, so he was doing the queen side. And I went ahead and changed off his knight here. And he retook with the bishop, keeping his pawns in front of his king in a straight line. Because when you start pushing pawns, you develop weaknesses. Right? And then I came up to a6, and he went to queen b3. Oh man, I've got a rude interrupting phone call. Hang on, I'll be right back. Oh, that was a great phone call. That was from my friend and Book of Abraham scholar, Michael Marquardt. Him and Dan Vogel are working on some stuff on the Book of Abraham scripture in the Mormon Church, and they've got some YouTube videos on the Book of Abraham that's really kind of fun. I'll do some stuff eventually on that, but right now I've got some chess to show you, right? So where was I before I was so wonderfully interrupted by my friend? Let's see, Pawnaconda had just moved his bishop, or his queen, to b3, and I put mine on c8. And now he went to rook d1, nabbing the open file. You know, I said that so much, I didn't do it, and he did. Now there's a lesson, right? This crap works. It really does. He was sharp enough to say, hey, look what I'm going to do to you. And boy, did he do a number on me. I deserved it anyway. Keeps you humble, you know, when you lose. They say you learn more from your losses than from your wins, and so let's see if I learned anything, right? C takes b3, and now I went knight e8. I wanted to reposition my knight And he went to knight d5, fantastic outpost on that central knight outpost, hitting up into here and over to here. That was wonderful. And then I put my queen back to d8 because there went a wasted move, right? So, you know, the foibles of youth. And now look at him develop his bishop to a3, hitting a long diagonal on my rook. That was nice, right to my king side. So he's building up an attack, and of course, me with my vast wisdom and insight did not see it. Pew! Went right over my head. And I brought my knight back up to d6. A real knight reverse outpost. I wanted to be there, but I'm here instead. So see, that pawn is guarding my knight. Yeah, that's for super advanced people. Only you really super duper advanced will ever comprehend that one. And then he comes to knight c3. He comes back down. I suspect perhaps he was opening up his queen and his bishop toward my king side. That's a great outpost. Although I could, well, yeah. It's not a permanent one yet. He's got to work on my pawn structure if he's going to establish a permanent knight there. But we shall see, won't we? I bumped my bishop up, putting it on an outpost, hitting the queen because I was realizing he's getting a lot of pieces pointing toward my king side, right? So he bumps his queen down, and I boldly went where no man had gone before, queen g5, and that was not the best move. But, you know, back then I didn't know that, but I really should have brought my rooks into this game much more than I did, and that cost me. He brought his rooks, and it helped him, so. His bishop, in fact, did take my knight. He didn't want me getting a good knight outpost, and that is a good theme that he did. He took away my knight. I have the bishop pair, and he has the knight and the knight and the bishop. And I've got my bishop pair, but you know, they don't look very inspiring right now, do they? Yeah, I'm more on a defensive scale here, so that's something we need to watch out for. Now watch this. Kapow! He takes charge of the open file. Now, I've said this a lot of times, and here I am 4.5 years ago not practicing what I was preaching. Put your rooks on open files, and then use the open files. Yeah, look at the difference here. He's playing a terrific game. I finally get my rook into it. It dawned on me, oh, hey, he's using his open file. Dork, wake up, dude. And of course, he wants the open file. Excellent. I cannot fault him. Well, I can't let him have it with both. I knew that. I knew I was going to lose control of the open file, but I can't let him have both rooks. So I traded down, and yet he's still dominating in my position. Bishop I brought up to g4, and bishop takes the g4, and then I went to h5. And why on earth I did not take that bishop, I do not know. But I pushed h5 instead. I had a brain fart or something. You know. I mean, it's great that Pawnaconda, it's great that you beat me, but it's really not much to brag about. Sorry. You need to go beat Ben Feingold, man. If you can beat him, you can crow forever. Me, I'm too weak of a player, or at least I was way back when. But it was a fun game, and it was a learning experience for both of us. And I started pushing my pawns like crazy. I realize now that I'm behind the 8 ball here, and now I'm getting interrupted by my stupid furnace. Hark, I shall return. Boy, if I don't quit getting interrupted, I'm never going to finish this game. Okay, at this point, he put his knight back up on d5, a very good outpost, and now he's coming on with the attack. I took his pawn that supports the outpost, and then he went rook takes g6, a really interesting move. I can't retake it because of the knight threat here, forking the king and the queen. So that was a beautiful tactic that he threw on me. And at least I was fortunate enough to see it, so I bumped my queen down to d8. And actually, that was about the only place I could put her that I saw at that point in time. Then his queen took my pawn. Here we go. Ay, 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 ay. He starts marching relentlessly. I bumped my rook up to protect my second rank because I knew I was in trouble. And then he takes queen e4, and now I'm just about wiped out. I could have resigned any time here. He's way ahead of me in material. There's just no way I can do this. I gamely played on h4. This pawn is going to save my bacon. Not really, however. And of course, he's now going to start advancing. He can use his pawns as battering rams to continue to wipe me out. He does a good job, and I thought, well, you know, I'm going to go ahead and go all the way with this. And then he bumps the g4. Okay, when he pushed his g4, I went to queen h4. And then he went to the bishop c4. And I put my king up to h7. And he went rook f6 check. And I went to king g8. And then he went rook takes f7, sacrificing his rook to get to my king. And I took his rook at f7. Then he went to knight c7, discovered check with his bishop. And so I bumped down to king f8, and he came up to queen e8 mate. So that was a great game for him to help us see the power of the open files and some really good tactics against a king while you're attacking him. So there's your game, world famous gamer. Hope you guys enjoyed this game. It was a couple of amateurs, of course, but most games that are played these days are by the amateurs that we look at, except for the Grandmaster games. I normally don't play through everybody else's games because I want to study the Grandmaster games to help improve our chess, and that's what I focus on. But I did promise him 4.5 years ago that I would show this game. So there's the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, be good, do well, have fun, and stay out of the snow and the cold, unless, of course, like me, you have to go remove the snow and the cold, and then do it safely. So I will see you guys in the next chess video. I've got a great Grandmaster game coming up.